there! Are you being bullied? Such as at school, in the workplace, at home, or on the streets? This video is for you. When confronted with a bully who decides to be verbally aggressive with you, whether it is that they say something mean about you or toward you, we're not going to talk about if it ever gets violent and when it does, because we have no solution for it that we'd benefit from if you acted on that solution. In such an event, you should stay calm and take a deep breath. As you can tell, deep breaths do, in fact, help calm you down. Though that isn't really the issue, we're gonna teach you about it anyway. Next, before you respond, you want to think about what you're going to say. Mostly because you can get in more trouble for retaliating than they will ever for hurting you. You should consider things from their perspective, understand how it feels to be them and what caused this. Maybe they went through something horrible recently, maybe they're just having a bad day. It doesn't matter that they hurt you and that you're the one who they hurt because they're the ones who's having a bad day. You should instead try and empathize with their feelings and cater to them instead. And you should try and empathize with them and take all your understanding into consideration for your kind, heartfelt response that will diffuse the situation. We need you to be the bigger person in this situation. Specifically, you to be the bigger person. Not because it's the right thing to do, but simply because we've already acknowledged that your bully is already immature and animalistic enough to be lost in their anger, or for whatever inane reason that they are already harassing you and bullying you for this, whatever reason that they might be. But if you don't solve things in a fairy tale idealistic way, if you're not Gandhi, if you don't stay seated like Martin Luther King and do his protest peacefully type schlick, then you become just as bad as your bully, if not worse. Not because you actually are worse than them, no, of course not. But because you'll end up hurting the image of everything and everyone else around you. And that sometimes hurts a little bit more than having to put up with some hurtful person. Not because it hurts you necessarily, or your image, but it's the image, and we care about your bully's opinion on us. And if you're wondering why you should care about us caring about your bully's opinion on us, well, we'll make you care. Finally, after all that is done, you want to respond with a long, heartfelt, full of kindness and love response back to your bully. And it won't have actually solved the problem. It doesn't solve the fact that you were hurt, nor the fact that your bully or harasser, and whatever reason that they had for deciding to take it out on you. But you did prevent the situation from escalating, which actually is not that bad of a thing. So with all that being said, go out there and try out our fancy repeated to death tactic on how to deal with bullies, and find out the hard way that no, it does not end there at all. There are a lot of people in this world. Most of them are stupid and docile, but the thing is that there's still a decent portion amount. It's not like a little amount. It's not a minority amount. No, it's a still fairly decent amount that you're going to encounter somebody who is genuinely despicable, especially in a space with a lot of people in it, such as a workplace or school or any place in general that you have to deal with a lot of people, because by sheer numbers alone, you're always going to have like a percentage that will show up that are completely bad, that are simply despicable, who either through their own faults or something happening in their lives are incredibly furious and take it out on others. And of course, even by through luck itself, you are eventually going to encounter one of those people who happen to have their targets set right on you for the littlest of triggers. No one's actually taught how to deal with bullies. All they're taught is how to be a doormat, not to be a bigger person, because being a bigger person means you actually loom over your bully and actually feel like, oh hey, this isn't worth fighting over. This isn't worth trying to escalate this situation. There's no reason for me to behave the way that I do more. Nope. The solution that's always taught is literally just for you to shut the hell up and take it. But the thing is that people are happier and more calm if they have the power and control to actually stop such a bad thing from happening. And the thing is that we've completely deprived everybody of like options to fight back other than like tell the bigger person about it. The solution that we give people is basically to tattle to their mommies and daddies, and if they have to try and solve problems by themselves, it's by ignoring and doing nothing and staying calm. Or in summary, basically just do absolutely freaking nothing and go tattle to your mommy and daddy whenever possible, like your boss, your mommy boss, or your daddy principal at school. And you're basically not actually given any education or training or any sort of resolution from solving things yourself. And it's no wonder why this generation, or at least my generation, is so goddamn anxious and so goddamn like just on edge about everything because they're not actually taught how to solve problems by themselves. And I'm actually still not, at least not the proper way. And even if I do have the proper way to do it, I'm actually not allowed to solve it the proper way. If you want a solution that deals with recurring bullies, that gets around the problem of not being able to stand up for yourself, it's literally running away and finding a better place to live. And I'm sure you have a lot of questions and anxieties about it, but at the end of the day, it all kind of boils down to, are you willing to accept change and struggle to make a change? Yes, there is anxiety of running to a worse place. Yes, there is the worry that you might end up running away from everything all your life. But I think it's more pathetic and cowardly to just stay in place and take a horrible life. And having to deal with horrible people and people who just kind of also tolerate them rather than just making the place better and like getting rid of them. That's on them. It shouldn't be on me to have to put up with horrible people because other people decide to accept them. And the world, honestly, to me, the world is as horrible as it is because the world has always been, throughout history, full of people who just accept the world for what it is and do nothing about it. They don't run away or fight to change it. Those people let the world continue on as it's always been, and then at the end of their lives, cry about how they could have had more and how they could have struggled more. And that's not the life I could ever respect nor tolerate. And I'm pretty sure that some people might see me as the type of person who just runs away from everything, but I don't regret ever running away. Because at the end of the day, I see people suffer more just from staying, and even if I do end up in, at least I tried to make my life better. And that is way more better than accepting the horrible absurdities of life.